What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Elder Scrolls Lore. Before we begin, I'd like to thank Ares for allowing me to use his music and pick a shout out to the Discord chat with a link in the description below or in the channel header. I'll see you there. But I'm actually pretty happy about making this video. This is something actually was pretty interesting. So strangely enough, we've been kind of sticking to Solstheim as of recently, as I had the most recent Skull videos come out with Thirskmead Hall, the Skull, and then the Skull's theory on the Deja. But now we're at Raven Rock. So Raven Rock it's kind of a coincidence. It's more of a, we're doing the cities of Morrowind, and now Solstheim is part of Morrowind. So major settlement of Morrowind is I guess not technically. Raven Rock is not a major city, but it's a settlement nevertheless that's the most prominent on Solstheim itself. So there, in terms of recommendations and suggestions for videos, I believe we only have one more after this, and it's the Hero of Kvatch. And I was a little too tired to even attempt to make that video today. But nevertheless, I decided to continue on with the Morrowind videos. Those are always something that people seem to enjoy. They've been getting a lot of views, so hopefully this continues along with the theme, and you guys enjoy this video as well. I did a lot of digging for some images as well, so I think I got like over 30 images for this. I got an image for like everything, I feel like. And you know what? It's gonna happen. It's the same thing that always happens. Is I'm recording the audio for this, I'm gonna think of something, be like, that would have been a perfect picture, and I would have I'd have to stop and look up what I wanted, or I'm just gonna have to say screw it and keep going with the recording. So with that being said, today we're gonna be talking about the settlement of Raven Rock. Raven Rock is a settlement in the Herstang Forest of Solstheim, founded and built by the East Empire Trading Company during the Third Era, and it quickly became a mining colony in the process of it. Now, Raven Rock's initial appearance is different than it looks in the Fourth Era. Raven Rock's eastern wing is walled off by the rest of Solstheim. The settlement has one long stretch of road from the gate to the local trader. All of those houses are centered on this long road, including the mine and the inn. Raven Rock has one port, since most of the ships coming to Solstheim go to Fort Frostmoth to the east. Raven Rock's architecture resembles the imperial design seen in Seda, Need, or I guess because they both have the same architecture, Diggen Fell in Vardenfell. Over the years, Raven Rock was given to House Redoran of Morrowind. This drastically changed the Raven Rock's design. It got rid of the traditional imperial housing that went along with the Redoran design of the large shellback. The only thing that resembles any of the imperial architecture are a couple of abandoned houses and the Morvain Manor. Raven Rock Street became more curved, and the docks were closer to the city. Now there's a town square that is surrounded by the mine, the inn, farm, and the smithy. Because of the ash, the bulwark, a fortified wall, is buried in ash, and from the wall to the earth stone, the streets and its houses become less damaged. Now, in the Third Era, after a massive ebony mine was found along the southwestern coast of the Herstang Forest, the mining colony known as Raven Rock was founded in 427 of the Third Era. As construction on the town commenced, the Raven Rock mine began to be dug out, and the ebony shipments went straight to Windhelm or Cyrodiil. Raven Rock was originally a patch of open snow up until the East Empire Company stepped in and began production on the settlement. 3 workers named Falco Genius, Gammon Gareth, and Sabinus or Arrhenius were escorted by the Neverine to start working on Raven Rock. Imperial nobleman Carnius Magius needed to convince investors to fund Raven Rock by giving them ebony ore. With this ore, the settlement of Raven Rock began construction, and the town began to gain gradual popularity. In 432 of the Third Era, the town was populated by at least 30 people, all of whom relied on the ebony mine for their way of life. Over time, Raven Rock was largely inhabited by Imperials and Nords. Because of its obscure location, the settlement was not affected by Marunas Dagon's invasion on Tamriel, known as the Oblivion Crisis. Back in Cyrodiil, the Oblivion Gates opened up and across the Imperial province, and the Imperial Legion needed more manpower to protect the capital and land. Many soldiers stationed in Raven Rock had to move back to Cyrodiil, while some stayed behind to protect the settlement from local bandits. Regardless, Raven Rock stood firm for the final year of the Third Era. Things on Morrowind, however, were only getting much worse. After the destruction of Aldrune, many members of House Redoran had to relocate to a new home to re-establish themselves. Mistress Brara Morvain, please tell me if I'm getting that wrong, made a negotiation with the East Empire Trading Company to have the Dunmer refugees come to stay in Raven Rock. Brara's group of Dark Elves became part of Raven Rock's way of life. The Dark Elves proved to the Imperials that their hardworking and reliability was essential for the success of the settlement. Now, it also proved that, probably helped as well, that the people here also had experience in the Kawama mines, and this solidified the relationship between Brara and the trading company. Into the Fourth Era here, we have the 5th year of the Fourth Era. Red Mountain erupts, and a large majority of Vvardenfell is destroyed. Red Mountain manages to affect settlements as far as Tier 2 Fort Frostmoth, which is on Solstheim itself. Like all of Vvardenfell, Solstheim was covered in a thick shroud of ash. The explosion from Red Mountain toppled the stone structures and annihilated wooden structures. Luckily, the mine was preserved from the blast. However, Raven Rock depended on the nearby Fort Frostmoth for protection against bandits, and the fort was buried underneath piles and piles of ash. Surviving Imperial soldiers made a makeshift garrison that paled in comparison with the fort, but Brara was able to have elite Redoran guards replace the Imperial guards. They protected Raven Rock ever since. Now, life hasn't been getting better after after the Red Mountain's blast. Not Raven Rock's blast. Relentless ash storms that plagued the Herstang Forest and the Isinferior plains, I'm gonna just assume that's right, and turned the southern Solstheim coast into a wasteland like the ashlands of Vvardenfell. Storms had left large dunes of ash and made living in Raven Rock hell for people. In order to protect the town, Brara asked the trading company to build a large wall to protect the eastern side of the city. In almost a year, the bulwark was built to help the defenses of the settlement. In 16 of the Fourth Era, Skyrim gave back Solstheim to the Dark Elves of Morrowind, and because of this, the East Empire Trading Company was forced to give Raven Rock to House Redoran. Many Dunmer refugees that lived in Skyrim left to stay in Raven Rock. Now that Raven Rock was under Redoran control, Brara Morvain was rightfully named Counselor of Raven Rock. Many of the Imperial citizens left Raven Rock to return to Cyrodiil. Brara continued to welcome incoming Dunmer, and the Dunmer coming into Raven Rock either stayed in the town to work in the mines or traveled the wastes as a nomad. The next few decades, many considered the golden age of Raven Rock's history. The mines were producing large amounts of ore, and they shipped them across the Sea of Ghosts, and the Dunmer folk lived happily and peacefully. Brara Morvain passed away in 65 of the Fourth Era due to old age. Thank God, I hated saying that person's name. And she was buried in the Morvain ancestral tomb. Her son, Lyriel Morvain, took her place and has proven to be a capable leader as well. In the year 95 of the Fourth Era, several assassins tried to murder Lyriel, but was stopped and foiled due to the Redoran Guard. The assassination attempt was, in fact, now a failure. It was eventually revealed by Captain Motain Veloth that the assassin was Vilur Ulan of House Hlaalu. Ever since, the House Hlaalu has been removed from the Grand Council. Now, Hlaalu and Redoran had a falling out with each other, and obviously this was due to the fact that Hlaalu supported the Empire, and at this time, let's just say, the Empire is not doing fantastic. Hlaalu believed that Redoran was involved in Hlaalu's status as a great house, and they held a grudge ever since. Now, their efforts weren't over because the Redoran Guard eventually found that Vilur had been organizing a coup against Lyriel's grasp on Raven Rock. Vilur and his associates were executed. Even after Vilur Ulan's efforts to ruin Raven Rock, the Dunmer began to respect Lyriel Morvain more, especially when 130 of the Fourth Era came around and the bulwark began to fall apart. Now, the reason they respected him more is because Lyriel ended up paying from his own pocket to rebuild the bulwark. In 150 of the Fourth Era, during the Argonian invasion of Morrowind, a group of Argonians actually traveled to the Isle of Solstheim to destroy the Dunmeri civilization there. Counselor Morvain led the forces protecting Raven Rock against the Argonians, and he won. The main source of income in Raven Rock, the Ebony Mine, had finally run dry by 170 of the Fourth Era, and Morvain used what was left of his money to feed his people. In 201 of the Fourth Era, Councilor Morvain still rules Raven Rock and has constantly dealt with the threats coming from the southern wastes. After having a confrontation with a cultist in Maroc, the last Dragonborn ventured to Raven Rock to seek further info about this Maroc character. The people of Raven Rock, along with the rest of Solstheim, have been acting very strangely. West of the town is a monument known as the Earthstone, and a lot of citizens have been gathering there, amassing at the shrine, and dedicated it to Maroc. From there, the Dragonborn met with Naloth of Tel Mithryn, who told the traveler all about Maroc and pointed him to his temple by the tree stone. After learning from the Ben Willshot from the beautiful Hermaeus Mora, the Dragonborn traveled to the Allmaker Stones, excluding the tree stone, and freed the citizens of Raven Rock from the curses that were on each stone. Now, after the eruption of Red Mountain, a new type of creature known as the Ash Spawn had been endangering the people of Raven Rock for some time. Captain Velith and the squad of Red Ring Guard had to deal with the Ash threat at the old Adius farm. Now, the Dragonborn arrived at the scene and helped finish off the remaining Ash Spawn. Veloth thanks thanks them, and tasks the Dragonborn to infiltrate the abandoned Fort Frostmoth to kill the resurrected Falx Carius. With Falx Carius dead, Raven Rock was once safe again. Now the mine is basically abandoned to save for one old man who believed that there was something more to the mines than a dry vein. Krezkius Carlaeus, yeah, I'm gonna go with that, is a great-grandson of Gratian Carlaeus, who was alive during the Raven Rock's inception. Gratian was an explorer for the trading company who died in the Raven Rock mines. Crescius tasked the Dragonborn into venturing deep into the mines and finding exactly what happened to Gratian in the depths of the mine. The traveler found the corpse of Drayskin and the Bloodskull blade. With the blade, the Dragonborn entered Bloodskull Barrow to find Zacharissos and his mask, which Zacharissos is a dragon priest. With this new discovery, the Raven Rock mine was open again and ebony began flowing out of the mine as usual. This gave Raven Rock the comeback it needed. After defeating Falx Carius at Fort Frostmoth and restoring Raven Rock Mine, the Dragonborn was approached by Captain Velith, who directs them to Second Counselor Adril Arano. Adril Arano worries that there's another assassination attempt being made on Counselor Morvain. Arano will ask the traveler to stake out the Ulen ancestral tomb where Villar Ulen is buried. While waiting at the tomb, Tilsu Severin visits the tomb to pay respects to Villar. The Dragonborn questions Tilsu, who reports back to Arano who gave him the key to Severin Manor. At the manor, the Dragonborn learns that Vendil Severin is planning to assassinate Lyriel Morvain in honor of House Halalhu, and they are stationed at Ashfallow Citadel. Now the Dragonborn then leaves for the ruined citadel and kills Vendil Severin, who is revealed to be Vendil Ulen, and Raven Rock is then safe again and bound to prosper for the next few years. That is all we have today, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. This was a lot of fun to make. Raven Rock is not something that I find finding these settlements and cities in Morrowind very fascinating to go over. It's not something I've been able to kind of enjoy recently, so it's been nice to be able to go over something that I don't know too much about, and it's fascinating to know how interconnected everything is in Skyrim, because I've been finding out with the most recent things obviously I've been covering that a lot of things are interconnected, so it's been a lot of fun to keep going over that, and I hope you guys keep enjoying these videos because they're a lot of fun to make. And with that, I will see you guys in the next video. If you guys please enjoy content like this, if you guys enjoy content like this, please like and subscribe. Got a little tongue-tied there. If you guys have any suggestions, please let me know in the comments below or in the Discord chat. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.